Brittany Williams is in training to get a job in the food and beverage industry. She's a single mom raising her 2-year-old daughter, Evelina, and counts on food stamps to put basics on the table. Just one problem. Because of the government shutdown, the money for food stamps, also known as the SNAP program, will run out in March.
It's very scary. If it was just me, I wouldn't be as nervous and as worried. But as far as thinking, even the thought of my daughter being hungry is very scary.
If your holiday plans include flying, be warned. OIA is expecting its busiest holiday travel season ever. Airport Executive Director Phil Brown says they've done as much as possible to streamline the process.
We won't have construction in the terminal this year. We don't have that. We've got more circulation area. We've got new ticket lobbies.
Brown also says just for the holidays, TSA will operate 6 additional screening lanes.
There was a ton on the line here. The conference championship, the undefeated season, and all of it without the fan favorite quarterback Mackenzie Milton.
Charge on, baby, let's go, charge on!
I am so excited. Go Knights, charge on! 2 in a row, AAC champs!
These friends have the distinction of being first in line and are holding their spot with an 8-man tent.
We have shifts right now rotating between about 12 of us and holding down the forts.
The students are camping out despite the fact that they're in the middle of exams.
I'll leave for my final exam and she'll save my spot, and then I'll run back after my final exam and switch out.
The center of Tropical Storm Gordon stayed just off the coast of southwest Florida, but it was close enough to flood yards and streets around Naples. On one road, the water was so deep this duck could swim across. The beach and the Naples Pier, which would normally be crowded on a nice Labor Day afternoon, basically empty. The concession stands on the pier weren't even open. The only people here were those wanting a close-up look at the storm.
From wingnut to flywheel, R.J. Roman makes it look so easy. No wonder he's a finalist in American Ninja Warrior.
Fans and fellow ninjas are on their feet.
This is my first year. I'm a rookie. And making it to the national finals as a rookie is always something that's pretty praised about.
Yep. Where the 22-year-old Jacksonville native isn't swinging on an ever-changing set of obstacles on the NBC popular show, he's in Orlando training kids to do the same thing at Obstacle Ninja Academy. Gyms like this have grown in popularity since the show.
See how much bigger of a swing I get?
A person is laying on the ground. They were hit by a school bus.
That was the call to 911 from the Seminole County School Bus Depot on 434 in Winter Springs. The victim, a bus monitor, had been dragged by a bus close to 6 a.m. when the parking lot here was still dark. Transportation staff called 911 as others tried to help the bus monitor.
It's on the backside of the gas pumps.
Winter Springs police say the victim was walking in the lot when she tripped or fell for some reason. At the same time, the bus was doing a U-turn, turned over her, and the rear axle carrier dragged her through the lot. The monitor was not run over by the tires, but still was hurt and taken to the hospital where she had surgery this morning.
A research team from the University of Florida thinks they found a solution. They call it the Skim Reaper.
We've spent quite a bit of time actually working with police departments and getting some input on the user interface and making this as simple as possible for them to use.
Only WESH 2 can show you the final version. The premise is simple. The thin card can tell if a credit card reader or ATM is recording for a second time. Up until now, the team says skimming has been relatively low risk and high reward for thieves. And they can only take a couple seconds to install, as this video from Miami Beach shows.
If you have 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 of these, you're making a substantial amount of money in a very small amount of time.
This display has been here for more than a decade.
Nobody bothered the Magic First display until last Monday. Somebody threw an object through the door of the Wells-built Museum of African American History and Culture on West South Street in Orlando.
I definitely think it was bold to stand on a street and break and enter and rob.
The items stolen were donated by the Orlando Magic organization, a tribute to some of the firsts for the Orlando Magic.
We had an Otis Smith jersey, we had a Nick Anderson jersey, and we had shoes from Otis Smith and Nick Anderson. That's what was taken.
The mission of the Wells Built Museum is to inform and celebrate the contributions made by African Americans in this community. And it's the community that stepped forward.
We had a local real estate developer, Tim Green from Green Tree Development, who donated repair costs for the door and helping to upgrade our security system.
Plus, the Magic organization will replace and enhance the display.
And it restores the faith in the community and the faith in the mission of what we are doing here.
The Wells Built Museum was first a hotel built in the 1920s by Dr. William Monroe Wells. It was a place for African Americans to stay when they couldn't anyplace else.
Thurgood Marshall stayed here when he was working the Groveland 4 case.
Next door is Dr. Wells and his wife's home, which was sitting where the Amway Center currently is. The house was moved next to the museum. In Orange County, Gail Pascal Brown, WESH 2 News.
It'd be a great opportunity to definitely keep Orlando fresh.
Brian Rendon and his fellow barbers at Urban Styles are just down the block from what's expected to be the tallest building in Orlando. On this vacant lot at the southeast corner of Orange and Livingston is expected to rise up the Zoe House, a mix of apartments, offices, stores, and much-needed new parking. This animation from architect Baker Barrios shows how Zoe House would fit into the Orlando skyline. It would mean more customers for Brian and his team and signals in his mind that Orlando is growing in its own unique identity.
It's definitely going to get bigger, I believe. More residential. I believe they're also going to build around Lake Eola, where they were going to. I mean, that's more people, bigger city.
At 41 stories, Zoe House will be 475 feet tall, with 300 residential units and 6 floors of office space. The parking garage will take up 8 floors, with about 10,000 square feet of retail space. The new tower would be about 35 feet taller than the current tallest building in Orlando, SunTrust Tower. That was finished 30 years ago. That was shortly after Sir Speedy opened on Orange Avenue. For nearly 4 decades, it's been a partner to businesses that have come and gone with the ebb and flow of the economic tide. Mike Levangie is the owner. He believes anytime you attract more residents to the urban core, it revitalizes downtown.
That's all going to have an impact, regardless of the fact of whether you're going to be business to business or business to consumer. I'm looking forward to it. I think that it's a great move.
Most of the year, the gators on public lands here in Central Florida don't have to worry about too much. But tonight that changes. The statewide alligator hunt begins, and that means the waters here will be busy.
Tonight's opening night, so we're jacked.
Kevin Bratz has some of his gator trophies, like this 12-footer in his office in Oviedo. Most of the year, his company Get Bit Outdoors sells custom fishing rod supplies. But tonight, he'll be out on the water, searching for gators with clients on the first night of the statewide alligator hunt.
You don't have to be an experienced hunter or fisher. Just hop on board, we take care of the rest. You know, have a blast.
Throughout the year, you can hunt gators on private lands, but this season is the most authentic hunt on public lands like the St. Johns River or Lake Jessup between 5 p.m. and 10 a.m. You're not allowed to use firearms. You have to use a bang stick, which fires a bullet when you smack it on the creature's head. Bratz says usually they use rod and reel and these treble hooks to hook the gators and pull them in.
Sometimes we run them down with an airboat. You know, we'll get them up in shallow grass, run right up on them and harpoon them on the fly. And a buoy will fly out of the boat, attached to a rope, attached to the gator, and you know, it's like Jaws.
The state only gives out 5,000 gator permits a year. Most of them are already gone, so working with a guide like Get Bit and others is the best way to do it. Plus, Bratz says they know where to find the gators, even the older, wily ones.
He's 30, 40, 50 years old. He's seen it. He knows what's up. So to get close enough, it's tough.
The gator season ends on November 1st, but if you really want to try it, you can still find hunts on private lands year-round. Reporting in Oviedo, Bob Hazen, WESH 2 News.